Oh,
Picture this. I come into a meeting. It's a brand new client. It's our first meeting. I turn to my coworker, knowing that those first 20 minutes you meet someone typically establish what that relationship is going to look like over the next couple years. I ask my coworker a question, but they're not really there. So I ask the question a little louder, and my coworker looks up at me and laptop is open, face is in the phone, answering a text or something. Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you repeat that, please? He was there, but he wasn't present. And I wish I could say this was the only time that this has happened. But there's another example when I was working with a different coworker a few weeks later. And there's a project we're on, it has a deadline, we're going over some important details. And next thing you know, a little notification comes in. And they look down and they're on their phone, even if it's just for a brief second. And they come back to the conversation and I'm sorry, can you repeat that? So I've come to the conclusion that we're not doing our best work. We're distracted, and it doesn't mean that we're not smart. It doesn't mean that we're not committed. It means that we're constantly interrupted. And when we're constantly interrupted, we don't have that time to really focus and pay attention. The interesting piece to this, though, however, is what happens whenever the interruptions stop. You're at work and you actually have a block of time where you can focus and do the task at hand. You can concentrate and you can just be present and get the work done. But in these little pauses and quiet moments, do you feel that nervous tick to reach for your phone? Or maybe, fill that space with something else? We're searching for interruptions that aren't even there. We pick up our phone. Oh, I guess nobody's there. But let me just check again. But nobody's still there. And this is one of the things that we need to practice, okay? Because we have been trained to need those interruptions, even though they sometimes aren't there. Now, I'm a finance person by trade, and I have often thought of attention as something that's, a nice to have, a soft perk, maybe something that a wellness program would cover. But what I'm starting to realize is that attention is far more important than that. It is actually hitting our bottom line. It is a true performance issue. So whenever I go back to that missed question at that first meeting with the new client, not only was it a little embarrassing, but that had a sense of, can we trust them? Are they going to do a good job? Are they serious about wanting us as their client? And whenever I go back to that situation with my coworker and she got that quick notification from her phone and checked real quick and then came back to me, we had to rework a few things, have that second conversation. And unfortunately, those little moments erode trust. We're very lenient with each other because we all do it. And so we offer a lot of grace in these situations. But that distraction and that disconnection is not a personality flaw. It is a matter of capacity. And capacity can be fixed. Capacity can be rebuilt, but it takes practice. So just like you would practice your health by exercising, just like you would practice your health by eating a good, balanced, nutritious diet, attention is something you have to practice. It's a choice you make. Now, I'm not talking down to anyone because I am completely guilty of this. I can't tell you how many times I've had a phone call and I'm looking at an email, or someone pops in the room and I say, oh yeah, just 1 second, and I'm looking at something else, or I glance down and I'm looking for that distraction that's not happening on my phone. I'm trying to do focus block work and I'm like, oh, maybe I can just look at this real quick. It's happening to all of us. So I'm not talking down to anyone. This is something that I have to practice, and I'm just encouraging you to have awareness around it and practice it as well. And what I call this is leading with presence. I have a company called Lightful Living, and the light method is the 5 pillars which this company is built upon. Light is an acronym, and the L is leading with presence. It's the first pillar of my company. And so it is a rare and increasingly valuable tool that's free that we can all offer, but a lot of us aren't using it and we're not practicing it. It's the cheapest competitive advantage that we can bring into a room, into a position, a job, into a meeting. And a lot of us are not taking advantage of it. So when I go back and think about my coworker, when we had that first client and that first meeting, our new client first meeting, and he was physically there, but he was absent. He wasn't emotionally or mentally present at all. So I would like to just encourage you this morning that whenever you walk into an important room, whether that be at work or at your home, maybe it's a conversation on a phone, maybe it's a loved one, maybe you just bump into a friend at the grocery store or a neighbor or someone, that you don't ask yourself, am I here? But you ask yourself, am I present?